Hi, I'm Ekin Pehlivan, and I'm an assistant professor of marketing at the Martin V. Smith Business School at CSUCI. I would like to share with you one thing that I really like about Canvas. So one of the great things about Canvas is that when you go into the gradebook, you can actually see detailed analytics for each student. And I would like to show you an example from a pilot class that I did this semester. As you can see, the gradebook contains information that you would see on a Blackboard page as well, but there's a lot more detail that we can go into if we were to click on certain students. Let's take a look at one example. Here, what you should be seeing currently is a dashboard of the student on the right side where my cursor is. And this gives you a short summary of how the student is doing. It also tells you the last few items that you might have graded that they've posted or submitted recently. Tells you how much they have been participating on the activities that are on Canvas specifically, as well as how much of the pages they've been viewing. So this student apparently has been doing a pretty good job overall. I chose him randomly, so I wasn't thinking about it. The best information in this piece is when you click on analytics. I'm going to open it up in a separate tab so we can go back to the original tab. So the analytics has two types of views. The first view that we encounter is the visualization, the graphics, which I think are really great to understand the overall picture without having to go into in-depth data. The first visualization is about their activity. So how many pages did they view at any certain date, and how many assignments did they submit during that period as well. This gives you a good idea of how involved they are throughout the class. And as you can see, this is before the midterm. There's a lot of involvement. This is after the midterm. There's less involvement on the student's part. So apparently he did very well on the midterm and kind of let it go, perhaps. That gives me an opportunity to contact him and say, hey, whoever you are, is anything wrong? Why are you not as active as you were previously? So it gives me a really good touch point without really having to take extra measures to understand what's going on with the students. The second row over here is about the communication. When you look at the communication, you can't actually see what's being said, but you can see how many times the instructor has engaged with the students and how many times the students have engaged either with the instructor or with each other. I think for privacy purposes, you can't see what they sent to each other, but you can see how much they're using Canvas as a communication tool, which is another good part of Canvas that probably somebody else will talk about.
And I think it's also fascinating there how you can look at the communication visualization with the interaction or the activity above and see how those two correlate
Together. Yeah. Yes, exactly. So you get a lot of information in one piece of the picture here. And even further down, what's to come is actually a lot more fun. Here, what you see is the submissions for assignments. I think this is really cool because it shows me the first time they actually clicked on the assignment to take a look at it. So I can see how long they took to finish the assignment. It also shows me if they were on time, so they submitted the assignment on time, or they were late, or if they were missing anything. And we can also see the future upcoming assignments in this view as well. You can see the dates, which is what I was interested in. So I don't know if people would be interested in the same thing, but I wanted to see how long each one of these quests or these assignments would take the students to complete. Given that they have a deadline, could they have started at the last minute? And with some of them, you see that's the case. But with some of them, they actually took a longer time to finish them. So it gives me a little bit more about not just the performance, but also the amount of time that they spent on the Canvas site. The last one is my favorite, and I wish that this was available to the students. I'm not quite sure how it would affect them, but I think it would motivate them to do better than they are doing at any given time, because it is a comparison of the students with the rest of the class without giving any personal information about anyone. So these are certain box plots about the distribution of the grades in each assignment. And this is a good example because it's clearer and there's a better distribution over here. But what we see here is this line is the 50th percentile, the median of the grades that was distributed in that specific assignment. This is the midterm. This is the lowest grade and this is the highest grade. And Canvas actually tells you if a student is above the median. Canvas says that it is a good score. So it labels it with a green dot If it is below the median, but above the last 25th percentile, so if it's in the third 25th percentile, basically, then it says it's a fair score. And with this student, we can only see one of those over here. And if they are not performing as well in comparison to the rest of their classmates, then you would see this red square box again on the box plot wherever they fall. This gives me a great opportunity, because what I can do when I see this is really just figure out where most of the students, first of all, might be underperforming, but I can also see individual students underperforming on a regular basis and contact them and check in with them, basically to ask them, is there something wrong? Can I help you with the process of going through the assignments? I think it would affect the outcome of each class really directly and in a very positive way. I mean, that's what I would hope. I also think if the students saw this, they would be able to determine where they want to fall among their classmates without knowing about individual classmates. So that would also enable them to be a little bit more motivated, perhaps. It's kind of like seeing yourself on a leaderboard on a video game or a, I don't know, a phone game or something that enables you to say, okay, I can do better than this, or, you know, perhaps I should seek some help. And I don't know if it's available to the students. I asked some of my students, they said they didn't see it.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
There's also the actual data if you want to go into it. So if you wanted to go into it, there's a spreadsheet that you can download or check out, and it has a lot of information. This type of information exists on Blackboard as well, although it's not as detailed, but I think Canvas presents a better picture of things.
Yeah, I agree.
That's it.
Well, I think that I agree with you. The visualization is very powerful. And thank you so much for sharing one thing you like about teaching with Canvas, Ekin.
You're very welcome.